All right, well, it's late. I didn't have time to get the video done today, so I'm doing it now. My wife is in a work meeting waiting to get out, so I'm waiting in the car for her, not in motion. Don't film and drive or anything like that. What a kind of on my mind today, I was talking, or kind of a colleague had emailed me about something that happened during the Super Bowl where, after the game, Tom Brady of the Patriots, their team lost, and after the game, Tom Brady kind of just angrily sulked into the locker room. I don't blame him. Losing is hard, especially when you're a very competitive person. But he goes into the locker room and then gives a very brief press conference and is very short in his answers, things like that. And my colleague had sent me this article that basically was like comparing his response to Cam Newton of the Carolina Panthers' response when he lost the Super Bowl. And the article kind of claimed that both did very similar things. The article actually claimed that, that both Brady and Cam Newton refused to shake the hand of the opposing quarterback and went right into the locker room. That they both seemed, very angry after the game, and that they both gave very short press conferences with very short, kind of angry answers about it and things like that. But what he focused it on was the fact that the response to Cam Newton was pretty racist, right? Like, people were talking about him in such a way, like that, being a black man and responding that way, and almost attributing his poor sportsmanship to his race and things like that. And just, they talked about it a lot more, made him a lot more negative, out to be a lot more negative in the press and things like that than they have with Tom Brady. And so he kind of pointed out that disparity. But I think that's not the only disparity when it comes to race that we can look at from this last Super Bowl weekend. I think a lot of my colleagues of color have already posted about this, but Philadelphia tore up the city, and these were predominantly white crowds of Eagles fans that were setting things on fire and burning cars and, damaging property and all this different things. And the news covered it as celebrators do this. But if it is African Americans who are fighting for their rights and fighting for equality and things along those lines, then they're called rioters. And so, I think that obviously as a nation we still have a long way to go when it comes to race and how we treat people in similar situations. If you are white or if you are black or if you're Latino or any other race, the outcome of your actions is the way it's reported in the media, the way it's perceived by other people is going to be very different, and we got to get to a point where that's not the case. So it's kind of interesting just reflecting on this last weekend with the Super Bowl, of those two disparities of how people talk about Tom Brady compared to how they talked about Cam Newton in the past, and then also how the media frames celebrators in Philadelphia that are destroying property compared to those who are protesting destroying property. And I think it's even problematic to associate the protest with the riot, with the damaging of property. I think a lot of times that's crimes of opportunity, not directly related. So anyway, we have a long way to go, and just some thoughts on the sports world. We'll see you tomorrow, hopefully back in the same setting. Bye.